Yo, this for the chosen ones. If you're mentally weak and you get triggered by words that magically turn facts into fiction, go ahead and scroll now. I don't need y'all emotional comments underneath this video, misleading my people. So I'm about to break down the biggest psyop that we all are facing today. And it's the misunderstanding of the phrase feminine men and masculine women. And it's because most people don't know the difference between divine feminine and masculine energies. And I'm about to show y'all 5 major traits. So as I always say, everything is energy with inside its own toroidal field. Just imagine everything being a battery, including us. But there are fields in multi-dimensions. For instance, lower dimensions will be our blood cells. In higher dimensions, it will be our stars. But I'm gonna keep this simple so y'all don't get lost. As y'all can see, feminine energy is negative and masculine energy is positive. The only thing gender has to do with these frequencies is the max potential of your energy. So to keep it simple, let's say women have a max frequency of 5, while men have a max of 10. Just like the average height of a man is 5'9", and the average height of a woman is 5'3", in America at least. And of course, I know there's outliers. I'm about 6'4", a half a foot taller than the average man. But yet, I still run across people towering over me. So to lower your max frequency directly correlates to how hard it will be to raise your frequency out of the underworld's control into your positive self. So since woman default is negative, they have to work to raise into their positive self. The woman that does this becomes masculine. She presents the same energy most women don't like. So she becomes an enemy to their state, gaslit and called a pygmy. Men's default is positive. We have to work into falling into our negative self. The ones that does this work becomes feminine, presenting the same energy positive people don't like, often being outcasted and called pause. They are pushing the misinformation by saying women are masculine when they are moving off emotion, which is feminine. Also saying men are feminine when they're moving off logic, which is masculine. When everyone has the energies confused, how can we ever fix it? Never. That's their psyop. We could literally be stuck in this cycle forever until everyone gets back in their proper role in the universe. Now we have service to self, which is a feminine trait. Also, the path to the underworld. This is self-explanatory. This means selfish people that only care about their needs, and they couldn't care less about what you gotta say, as long as they believe they have a one-up on you. Service to others is a masculine trait. Also self-explanatory. These are people that genuinely care about you and will sacrifice their own benefits to keep everything balanced. And now we have the soul, which is feminine. Everyone on earth has a soul. The spirit is masculine. Everyone does not have a spirit. It is the connection to God. The people that have spirits has the blood of the fallen angels. Most people are clones and robots made in the lab, roaming the streets looking just like us. And the crazy thing is, they don't even know who they are. The soul is a negative energy that's connected to the underworld and is programmable. It is really your ego. This is why the Matrix is designed to program the souls they have control over while they are at their lower selves. And then there's the people that seems like they could never make it out of any type of programming because they have no spirit to think outside of it. Their max frequency is capped below Christ, meaning they are stuck in a negative frequency and they are of the underworld. So there's people with a soul and no spirit, which are negative polarity beings of the underworld with no free will. And there's people with a soul and a spirit, which are positive and negative polarity. When I mentioned earlier that women have a max of 5 and men have a max of 10, this also means women have a negative max of 5 and a negative max of 10. It works both ways, and this is how they can take you from God's army and place you into theirs, by keeping your frequency low, by making you fall. This is where the term fallen angels come from, because that is what we are. This is why men and women need to raise their frequency to a masculine mind frame in order to get in touch with their spirit. As you rise out of the underworld control, you also get rid of all your demons. And this is why when you have a spirit, you have free will, because you are positive and negative polarity, while the others are only negative. Now I have feminine energy as evil and demonic. You see, people in a low frequency does not know right from wrong. For instance, telling kids there's hundreds of genders, allowing men to play women's sports, such as the UFC. They're completely fine with this and will literally fight you if you got something to say about it. Man or woman, I have masculine energy as good and angelic. People in a high frequency knows right from wrong. We're the ones that stand up and say something about the evil, but we won't fight until it has to do with our kids or our freedom. Now I have emotions as a feminine trait, and we all should agree on that. Emotions are short term and in the past, because it's always in the process of reversing your current timeline. While I have logic as a masculine trait, which is long term and in the future, because it focuses on progressing your current timeline, making it better. So as I mentioned earlier, that men has a higher cap frequency than women, and that's by design because of how our brains are made. Women use the lower part of their brain much more, which is the lizard brain and mammal brain, while men use more of their human brain. This is why we almost think completely opposite. For example, let's say there's 3 dogs and one fall into the river. A feminine decision will just be thinking about the moment. They will jump into the river to save the dog without thinking if they can even make it out the river. And in the event you don't make it out the river, you have 2 dogs left to fend for themselves. That decision just destroyed the whole group. Versus a masculine decision that's going to think long term. He'll think about this whole situation. If he jumped in and didn't make it out, he knows everybody will be gone. So he wouldn't even take the decision because he wants to save the other 2, because the one is already gone. And there'll be no point of losing all 4, the whole group. Once emotions get involved, the logic leave. This is why everything online, or almost everything you see, triggers your emotions. Because that's what they want. They want to extract it from you and turn into negative energy so they can manifest off of it. That's why they hide videos like mine, because I'm going to put you in a positive frequency, which takes power away from them. Because you see, these parts of the brain we have shouldn't even be there. They implanted that inside of these bodies in order for control. So last, I have destruction as a feminine trait. When you're stuck in a negative frequency, it always leads to destruction and self-sabotage. It almost seems as though it's a goal of theirs. And I know it's almost hard to believe, but it's the truth. They love creating problems so they can be the victim. They love drama. They talk way too much, when in all reality, they're spell casting and have peace as a masculine trait. When you're in a positive frequency, all you think about is moving forward and growth. And you don't even talk much because there's no need to play spells on anyone because you got your own energy. The moral of the story is that they are brainwashing and feminizing men and women through the air, water, food, clothes, electronics, media, on so many levels I can go on all day long. So as long as they override everyone with negative feminine energy, it will hold down all the heavenly beings, who are the gods and goddesses, those spirits, withholding them into the abyss. Once enough of us wake up, we will completely break the matrix. As I mentioned earlier, we are multi-dimensional beings and we are trapped in this dimension because they reverse the natural order of our energies. It's supposed to be positive on top of negative, but they reverse it into negative on top of positive. During the war that we are still in, a war of different worlds that we all know of as World War I and II. They about to extend it to quote unquote 3. We are talking about a war versus heaven and the underworld in a fight for our souls and spirits. If you're new to this, I highly suggest y'all to go check out my YouTube. Go watch all my longer videos that I have thumbnails on because it's very important information that you need to know before things start to go down. Because I always preach 2025 is the last year of this reality. And everyone needs to know the real truth, not half the truth like they showing on media now with all they quote-unquote disclosures that I told y'all they would be giving us before things start to happen. Always remember, don't fall for the psyops. Anyways, y'all know how to keep it. Y'all be guys. Peace.